Have you ever wondered why some patterns seem to echo again and again, no matter how far you run? Why some moments feel light and effortless, while others feel like gravity itself is pressing down on your chest? What if your external reality isn't just happening to you, but actually grows from what's already inside you? What if the things you see, the people you attract, the circumstances you face, are just a reflection of your inner self? Maybe you keep meeting a certain type of person, the kind who doesn't respect your boundaries. Maybe you're stuck at a certain level in your life, your career, or your business. And no matter how hard you try, you just can't figure out how to reach the next level. What if this pattern isn't random? What if it's reflecting something within you, perhaps an old wound, a fear of being alone, or a part of you still unsure of your own worthiness? The people in your life aren't just actors on a stage. They are mirrors showing you the parts of yourself you haven't yet embraced or healed. For example, if you find yourself constantly facing bosses, colleagues, or clients who doubt your potential or undermine your efforts, it might be reflecting an inner voice of self-doubt or fear of stepping into your true power. When you start to see the pattern as a message, not a punishment, you begin to ask, what do I need to love or accept in myself? Where am I still closing off my own heart? This realization is the doorway from frustration to freedom. Because when you heal inside, the mirror outside shifts. You wake up every day, thrown into a world of noise, notifications, to-do lists, difficult conversations you keep avoiding. And beneath everything else, there's a quiet feeling of discomfort, a little voice you've gotten used to ignoring. The one that's telling you, something isn't right, something's missing. And no matter how much you try to fix things, reach your goals, or keep yourself busy, that feeling stays with you. No matter how hard you try to change your external reality, your job, your partner, your body, your city, your inner state always seems to pull you back. Because the storm isn't outside, it's inside. In the thought you never questioned, in the emotion you forced yourself not to feel. In the identity you never willingly chose but decided to wear like armor. Reality is not a punishment, it's not a test, it's not trying to break you. Reality is a mirror. It doesn't care what you think or what you want. It simply reflects what you are, your sense of what is right or wrong. The emotional hurts you've hidden so deeply you don't even remember them. The feelings and energy you carry when you're alone. All of it sends out a signal that shapes the world you experience, because you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe. You manifest what you are. So if you want to understand your life, don't start with the world. Start with the reflection. Let's take a very compelling story. Matthew has always believed that the world is a harsh place, unfair, full of competition, and where only the strongest survive. Deep down, he carries the unspoken message from his childhood that he's never quite good enough. This belief shapes everything he experiences. At work, he finds himself stuck under a manager who dismisses his ideas, reinforcing his sense of invisibility. In his relationships, he feels disconnected, convinced that others don't truly care or that they'll eventually leave him. No matter how much he wishes for kindness, success, or love, his reality keeps reflecting back the same struggle, the same loneliness. This isn't punishment, it's his inner world showing itself outwardly, echoing his deepest beliefs and unresolved wounds. So many of us live at war with ourselves, constantly chasing happiness and avoiding pain, living in the mind like it's a courtroom, constantly judging, comparing, planning, regretting. The thoughts come and go, the feelings rise and fall, but there is something in you that is untouched, something still and vast. Call it your soul, call it the light of God, call it consciousness. Whatever the name, it is the source of all change. Because when you return to that stillness, the mirror shifts, not because you forced it, but because you stopped feeding the illusion. You see, most people don't realize they're not seeing reality as it is, but through the lens of their own beliefs, fears, and past experiences. The ego whispers, I must control everything to feel safe. The wounded inner child cries, "Love me or I'll disappear." The mind, terrified of uncertainty, paints the same picture over and over, even if it's painful, because at least it's familiar. So we wear masks, masks of competence, masks of success, but life doesn't respond to the mask. It responds to the frequency underneath. And if that frequency is still anchored in fear, in shame, in lack, that's what returns in the mirror, not to punish, but to show. Now, ask yourself these questions. What does my life reflect back to me? What patterns am I tired of seeing? What part of me is still calling out to be seen, held, and healed? I want you to pause for a moment and really think about it. Write down your answers if you need to, and whatever comes to the surface, don't fight it. Embrace it, because this is where healing begins. This is not about blame. This is about awareness. The mirror doesn't accuse, it reveals. It's a gift, because once you see clearly, you can choose differently.
Healing doesn't come from changing your life. It comes from changing the way you meet yourself. When you stop resisting what you feel, you stop projecting it onto the world. When you stop fearing your own silence, you stop needing the noise. When you let go of the story you've been telling yourself all along, you meet the truth. And the truth is, you were never broken. You were just seeing yourself through a distorted lens. But the moment you become present, things begin to come into focus, and your external world begins to feel different, calmer, clearer, more whole, more peaceful, because you change the way you see yourself, as within, so without. So many teachings talk about manifestation as if it's something you do, but the secret is, manifestation is not an action. It's embodiment. You don't get peace by chasing it. You get peace by becoming it. You don't attract love by begging for it. You attract love by remembering that is already part of who you are. The world can only meet you as deeply as you meet yourself. So look at your life again, not as a problem to solve, but as a mirror to understand. It's not something separate from you. It is you, every person, every challenge, every moment. A reflection, a response, a quiet invitation to become more of who you already are.
When you stop running from the feeling and instead turn toward it with compassion, you open the door to healing. Not by fixing yourself, but by finally letting yourself feel what's been waiting to be felt. And when you stop trying to control the reflection, trying to manipulate outcomes, people, or timing, you naturally return to the source. That quiet place within you that doesn't need anything to be different in order to be at peace. And from that still point, a new world begins to take form, not in an instant, not in a perfectly curated way, but in a real, grounded unfolding. From the inside out, you begin to notice the shift. The people around you respond differently. They look at you differently. The energy in the room softens. This is what happened to Matthew the moment he realized he couldn't change his inner state by rearranging the outer world, but that it was the other way around. After switching careers 3 times, changing apartments every year, and constantly chasing new routines, new mentors, new goals, the same feeling always found him. A loud dissatisfaction, a weight in his chest that wouldn't lift. He thought he just wasn't trying hard enough, that he had to push more, perfect more, become more, until one day, on an ordinary afternoon in between tasks and the usual distractions, something broke through for no apparent reason. For the first time in a very long time, he decided to listen to the quiet vibration inside his body. For Matthew, it was his chest, a subtle tension, a whisper that said, "Let go. Let go of control. Let go of the need to figure it all out, and trust the path the universe had already drawn for him." He left everything that day and went for a hike, an 8-hour hike, on a random Tuesday afternoon. It was so unlike the mask Matthew showed to the world, and yet it felt like the first honest thing he'd done in years. Halfway through, he sat down beside a small fountain in the middle of nowhere and broke down in tears. And in that moment, something shifted. He couldn't explain it, but the universe could feel it, because he is the universe. And so are you, not instantly, but over the following weeks, Matthew began to notice the subtle changes. He stopped overcommitting to things that drained him. He spoke more honestly, even when his voice trembled. He set gentle boundaries where he used to abandon himself. He began his mornings in silence, not urgency. He treated his body like a friend, not a project. He noticed old thought patterns and chose differently, and the outer world responded. His team at work, who used to overlook him, began asking for his input, following his lead. New opportunities began to appear, without chasing. His relationships deepened. Conversations that used to trigger him lost their grip. People said he seemed lighter, more grounded. But the truth is, nothing outside had changed him. He had changed himself. He returned to the source, to presence. And from that presence, a new version of Matthew began to emerge. Not a perfect version, but a truer one who no longer needed the world to reflect his worth, because he had already remembered it, one who no longer tried to control the mirror, because he had changed what was being reflected. As we close this journey, I invite you to gently ask yourself again, what does my reality reflect back to me? Not what you think, but what you carry. Not what you wish for, but what you embody. And if the mirror shows you pain, can you meet it with compassion? If it shows you fear, can you hold it with courage? If it shows you truth, can you trust it? Because everything in your reality, every moment, every person, every feeling is here to show you something about yourself, to bring you back home to the part of you that is already whole, already free, already enough. If you'd like to go deeper into this idea of the outer world reflecting your inner self, I recommend the book As Within, So Without, Love Yourself, Love the World by Karen Neverland. It's a powerful guide to becoming more self-aware, more present, and more loving toward yourself and the world around you. You'll find the link in the description. If this video resonated with you, please like it and subscribe to our channel, and make sure to turn on the bell. That way, you won't miss any of the upcoming videos to support your spiritual journey. And if someone came to mind while you were watching, share this with them. That thought wasn't random. The subconscious knows, and maybe, just maybe, this is exactly what they needed to hear today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. And remember, you are already whole.